Hi everybody, hope you're doing good. So this is Bunolo Mutusi coming in with the fourth episode of the podcast. I am here today with someone who I've met probably 2020, and then we've traveled this journey of growing together, of learning from each other, whether silently or loud. Here we are, and it's so funny because he's obviously just going to share about himself now, but I want to first say that I'm very proud of you. I think
Thank you.
if I don't ever say it enough, or if I don't ever express it, I'm very proud of you because I always love when I've witnessed someone's growth from the very beginning. It's different when you come across someone's profile or you meet them when they are successful and you hear about their stories, but experiencing it and seeing it through real life is something else. So yeah. My name is Bonolo Mutusi, and of course, I'm a trainee or a SAICA trainee. I'm about to qualify as a CA. And that's all you need to know for today. I'll hand over to my guest. He'll introduce himself and then get right into the topic. Over to you.
All right, let's go. Hey, hello everyone. My name is Lungelo Khuzwayo. Some people know me as Corporate Pantsula. I am also a SAICA trainee for the Big Four accounting firms. Most of you guys probably know which one it is. But thank you for having me. Quick story. The way that I met Bonol, actually, when I first met her, she was still into Herbalife. Remember? She was pushing Herbalife. And then what was I doing at the time? I don't know what my obsession was, but no, it's pretty cool because most successful people going to become successful that I meet, they obsess about something. So you're obsessed with physical health, you're obsessed with academics. So I'm saying that just to say, like, I'm also proud of you as well. You come a long way, and I'm very honored to be here.
Right. Yeah. So let me just say, I want to say the topic or the theme that we'll be discussing today is something that I feel is very important for people who are starting to do this, or people who have been doing this and feel like they are stuck somewhere, or people who want to learn more about how maybe you got to where you are now, or how I got where I am right now. So the theme today, guys, is about building or rebuilding your brand because it takes a lot. I think people don't realize how much it takes to build a brand, whether it be your business, whether it be your career, whether it be your, if you're a person maybe who are in religious activities, you are a brand, you are a vessel that is walking and people are looking at you. We might not think it, or you might not believe it. Like, let me tell you, someone will tell me that I saw you posted this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't think people were actually looking at this thing. So for you, I want to first ask, what is building a brand to you, or what is rebuilding? If you are rebuilding your brand, what does it take? What does it mean to you? And what are your expectations when someone says, I am building a brand?
So for me, I think I did not build a brand intentionally. So my story, basically what happened was that I am the kind of person who likes sharing my journey as I'm going through it. So I post a lot. So let's say, for example, even when I was a student and I'm discovering all these different things, at the time, remember when we were studying, I used to love this thing called the Pomodoro technique. So that was back in the day. I was in third year. You were in second year, eh?
Yeah.
I was in third year, you were in second year. And I was like, oh, this thing is so amazing. And I got these productivity apps. And then I would share those on my WhatsApp stories and stuff like that. And then fast forward until I started working, then it was a thing of, now that I'm in corporate, I started just sharing my journey as I'm going through it because I enjoyed the writing. Because remember, we used to read a lot. I remember we used to be into books. You still read them?
I'm still into books, but reading, I haven't, I told you, my master's finished.
Oh, it finished you, eh?
Yeah, so...
me overtime and my side hustles, but I don't read as much as I wish I did. But I was really much into reading, I was really much into writing, and then I'll just basically write about the experiences that I'm having, both the wins, but I think a lot of people resonated a lot with the L's as well. So if something is not going according to plan, and then maybe I'll just write a LinkedIn post about that, then there was going to be an audience nyana that sees that, reads that, and then they resonate with it. And over time, just sharing those personal stories is kind of what made my brand. That, oh, there's this guy, he is in this CA stream, and he's sharing some of the wins that he's experiencing, and he's also sharing some of the struggles that he's experiencing, and maybe somebody else is going through something similar. And just me going through the journey and sharing about the journey, and if, let's say, whatever it is that I was going through, I overcome it, it gives somebody else hope as well. They sit down and like, oh, he was able to, overcome or surmount these challenges. Then maybe whatever challenge that you are facing as well. I like telling people that whatever challenge that you are faced, there is no challenge that is bigger than God.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. So I think a lot of my confidence, doesn't matter where you find your confidence from, but like wherever you find your confidence, or in my religion, then it's faith. It's very important for you to get your strength from somewhere.
Yeah.
Because when you are facing those kind of things, and then sharing them as well for somebody else to see that, hey, you went through 1, 2, 3, and this is how you overcame it. It's like what you were saying. When you write something, sometimes because it's on the internet, you don't think it's real, and somebody else sat down, they read it, and then they see you in person, like, hey, so I read this thing, and you feel like, so I totally get you. Yeah. So that's essentially how I was able to basically build my brand. It was just through sharing stories, and stories are very important, man, because I read something interesting that human beings love stories. Even when you sit down and say maybe you had a dream, when you explain your dream to someone, it's in a story form. Even lots of times when you meet people, if let's say I ask you what are the 10 commandments, most people maybe remember 3, 4, maybe even 5. But if you ask them, okay, what's the story of Isaac and Abraham, or you ask them what's the story of Jesus, or what's the story of Cain, or what's the story of stories, is something that we tend to resonate with, and we remember them because it has a start. This is what happened, this was the peak, and then this is how it concluded. So for me, I built my brand around storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's so good. Yeah, I can attest to that. You love writing. Yeah. I'm more of a speaker than a writer, if I might say. I can write, but I feel like I'm better at speaking than writing. Voice notes were created for people like me. My family and friends were like, yo, mixtape, what are you saying? But anyway.
5 minutes. You need to play them at 2x speed.
You see? Yeah. For me, right, building my brand or rebuilding my brand, it took having a vision to start with. Because I think a whole lot of people or a whole lot of businesses or a whole lot of things that are born out of a vision. Right? And let me say things that are sustainable are born out of a vision. Because you can picture something, but if it's not led by a vision, it's very easy for you to stop doing that particular thing, because you started it just because of like the vibe, just because of the click, like TikTok, let's do a challenge, then it fades over time because there's no sustainability on that particular thing. For me, I had to sit and realize the gaps that I saw in my life, the gaps that I saw in the life around, like people's lives around me, the community that I'm from. And that's how Growth is Greater Than Comfort was born, because it started in 2020. During lockdown, when I started gathering the youth together online. We'll be talking about, let's talk about this topic, let's talk about that, because I realized that people were with families. Family is important, family is good, but when families have unresolved drama, unresolved traumas, it makes it very difficult for some of us to function in dysfunction. So for me, it took identifying the gap, like, what is the impact I want to make in my life? When I die, what is Lungelo going to say about me? And what will I like for someone to say about me? That's what drives my brand. So hence, Growth is Greater Than Comfort, because the podcast, I know there's a lot of podcasts out there. Some of my family and friends were like, I don't know how to catch up, because there's so many people who are doing podcasts. Not a bad thing. It's just what I want people to understand out there about what I'm trying to build or what I'm trying to do is to have those conversations that are uncomfortable most of the time. This is probably the less intense conversation I've had since the start of this journey. But it's about challenging, growing outside of, because it's no point for me, honestly, for me to smile with you at work, laughing with you, cracking jokes, and we're talking about how I'm proud of you for getting into the finalist for the trainee and all of that. But I don't know that you're struggling with something else that I can be able to assist with. It's about creating that safe space, whether it be career, whether it be work, whether it be faith, because I am a Christian. Everyone should know that by now. But, it's built on that, like having a vision. Because this is one thing that my dad said to me. He always echoed it. It might have been harsh to a little girl at that time. A man saying that to a little girl is like, what are you saying? Because that's what fathers will say to guys. But he said this to me. It's like, I'm not going to chase after you. Do your homework.
Oh, yeah.
Do your homework. I'm not going to be that parent. I'm not going to choose for you what subject you should be choosing because I want to live my life through you. You're going to make your own life decisions. Like when you get home, you choose what kind of child you want to be. So that when I die, you're left with a life that you are content with. That you're able to say, I chose this life. And you're able to live with it. You can't blame him.
You can't say now,
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was one of the most, eye-opening things in my life where I realized that's why there's broken parenting now, is that children are not let to be independent and face the consequences of their own actions.
Yeah, there's no accountability anymore.
Do you understand? It's my mother made me say this, so my mother accepted this, so it's acceptable to society. That's a topic for another day, but that's literally how I was raised by my dad, and I think it carried through to everything. Is make a decision in your life. What do you identify with? And take a stand. Because there's a quote, I'm sorry to the person who said it, but it says something like, you need to stand for something. Because if you don't stand for something, you are going to go with everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Everywhere, everything that is happening, you are going to be following the train. Every trend, you are on it. Because you don't have a stand on something, So that's basically where my inspiration or my drive of building a brand that is so strong and so sustainable that even if I was to pass today, someone can say, okay, this is what she's done. No matter how the lifespan, the time I've spent with you. So, now going into, it might get very challenging now to talk about this, but what has been the biggest challenges for you in building a brand?
That's easy. That's easy. So the challenge and this applies to everyone when you are building a brand, right? And let's say it starts to grow or people start to resonate with the things that you share. And because we're living in a very digital world now, it's not like in the past. Like in the past, I envy the freedom that people in the past had to share whatever they thought, and people could debate and they could engage in intellectual discourse without the fear of something horrible happening to them, whether in terms of like their career, because it was just. Whereas today, there's a lot of things. Freedom of speech is not free. If we're being honest, right? So the reason that I say this is because you start building a brand, right? And then let's say you get maybe 1,000 followers, you get 2,000 followers, people are liking, they're sharing some of the things. What happens is, especially if you are a person who is in corporate, you are not always going to say the things that the people who employ you like, right? And although you could be saying it in your own capacity as an individual, that this is what I think about 1, 2, 3 as an individual. If they don't like it, you will start getting into roadblocks. There's going to be people who are going to close certain doors. There are people who are going to, and they will find. It will never even be the thing that you said that we're going to punish you for this. They're going to find something.
100%.
They're going to find something 100%. And like, okay, let's catch him or her over here, right? And also because what happens is the way it's sensitive for me because it's something that I've encountered quite often is that sometimes people will even try to control your voice as well. So you're going to have people who are trying to basically hijack your brand, hijack your voice, even though you were building your brand. And it's what you're saying, that if you stand for something, right, and you're resolute, these are the things that I think as an individual, you're not speaking on behalf of anybody else. By default, it's most likely going to be counter to other stuff.
Yeah.
So for example, if you say I am Christian, right, and these are the values that I believe in,
Mm-hmm.
somebody else might be something else.
Yeah.
And those things might not necessarily get
Yeah.
along. But you are not saying that the other person now is wrong, or I'm just saying that this is what I think because of whether it's your cultural beliefs, whether it's your religious beliefs.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you do that and you put it out into the world, there's going to be other people who are more powerful than you who looks at that and be like, hey, actually, we don't like this.
Yeah, right? This makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, this makes me uncomfortable. I remember there was a time when I made a video where I was talking about some of the challenges that we face as African people is black on black hate.
Yeah.
Right? So the idea that... Can I
saw that video, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can I speak in vernacular?
Yeah.
So it's the idea that umuntu omnyama akafuna ukubona omunye umuntu omnyama aphumelele.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like
it's
it's like a crab mentality. So as soon as you go up, and we all experience this to some extent, especially if you cats.
Yeah.
If in the township, right, and you see the way, for example, this other day I was at home and then they saw me walking, and then immediately someone's like, ipi motiago. Already it's like, I can't even take a walk because when you saw that, so the second you see me walking in your head, you're like, yes, something better has happened, but that's kind of that's part of the lifestyle that you get to encounter in spaces such as those ones, and it's not a good thing, and it's one of those things that I can speak about it as an African person that, hey guys, as African people, I think we flopile here and here. I think we need to fix. Who else is going to tell us? Because if a Caucasian person says it, that's the optics are really not good.
Yeah.
He might be right.
Yeah.
But it's going to look very bad.
Yeah.
You're going to say this person is right. So I feel sometimes being a person who's able to say, hey guys, why can't I be the person who says, hey, I feel like this is an issue. Like as African people.
Yeah.
We don't support each other. So saying that, because before you can resolve the problem, you need to identify it first.
Yeah.
After identifying it, then you need to communicate it, right? And then we can now take some steps in order to resolving the thing. But if I can't even say that, right now, that becomes a huge problem. Because if we do not have these kind of conversations in which, so this is the challenge that I face with trying to build a brand. Somebody else is going to run into the same potholes that I ran through. But having a discourse about it is that would be the biggest challenge, is that there are certain things that you're going to say, especially when certain people, especially as you garner an audience, you say have 5K, 7K, 8K, 10,000 followers, and these people are looking at you and they're liking and they're reposting. Yeah. There's going to be people who are going to try to censor you. And it's very painful when sometimes the people who are, because you need to also now learn to pick your battles as well.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
Because there are certain fights that you don't pick them.
Yeah.
Right. Not because you're a coward or anything like that.
You're just not going to win.
You're not going to win. Right. You are better off. You're better off. My mom always tells me, there are times where to me losing sleep.
Yeah.
Like just play the fool.
Yeah.
Right? But in the long run, you'll have a bigger impact. Right now, you might not have the capability or the strength in order to just say, even if it's right, that's irrelevant. If you say something that somebody else doesn't like and that person is more powerful than you, right? Some fights are not worth it, because now you're going to take yourself out and you're not going to make a bigger impact in the future.
Yeah, you're not going to go anywhere.
You're not going to go anywhere. So just be a fool, apologize, right? With me, there's been a couple of times where I even had to maybe remove a post. Not because I genuinely do not believe it's because I said anything that is... But
because of the repercussions.
It's because that somebody didn't like something that I said. And there's something beautiful that one of my friends told me, is that if everybody likes you, or... he said it a bit more harshly than that. He said if you don't have...
We want to hear that harsh part. If
you don't have enemies and you have a weak personality.
Yeah, 100%.
And I resonated with that so much, because if you're a strong person who fight, whatever it is that you're fighting for, right, you are going to have people who do not like that. Right? There's going to be people who push back. Yeah. But if you're a person, everything is okay.
There's something wrong.
There's something wrong with that. You're not your own individual.
Yeah.
You're because I do not think, when God was creating you as this specific individual, it was for a reason. Yeah. That you think like this, you like this. Because a lot of the things, even the things that we like, we do not know why we like the thing. Like you see a young kid just playing with, why does the car fascinate him so much? Even him, he doesn't know. Another kid, I was at KZN the other time, and we went to like the aquarium. This kid knew everything about fish. Explain to me what draw him to a fish. You don't know, 20 years down the line, this person might, I don't know, do whatever they do, the Marines and stuff, I don't know. But it's because I believe that maybe God planted something in you that you have no control over, that makes you unique from everybody else.
Yeah.
And the second now you start censoring that yourself, if you start allowing the world to censor that, and then you censor it yourself, then I do not think you'll ever reach your full potential.
100%.
Right? Because if this thing is in you, right? Because you should notice when you find something interesting, you do not decide that it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's more like the thing.
Yeah.
It pulls you.
Yeah.
We don't know where that comes from. And for other people, it's different things. Everybody has their forever seed.
Yeah.
For whatever reason that God planted in them, He knows what He's doing in the grand scheme of things. So that was the biggest challenge that I faced, just trying to build a brand. Is we're in a world where there are things that you just need to basically be careful of the kind of things that you say, but still try to say your truth.
Yeah.
Right. And then if those things do happen where maybe they try to silence you or they try to censor you, then you just need to be humble. Especially if you can see that this is a fight that I'm just not going to win.
Yeah.
Right. Because it does not make, I do not think it makes the world a better place if you were to go out now than if you were to just take the L.
Yeah.
Right. Wait it out. Right. Play the game. But then in the future, say now, Bonolo, you're a millionaire. You have your own money. You have your own platform. It's like, take away whether you agree with him or not. Maybe you don't like him. Like you look at a person like Nick G, for example. That person can say he employs himself.
Yeah.
He can say what he thinks.
But
even if you don't like him sharp, but I'm just making the point that there are people who can genuinely, whereas there's a lot of people like they do not have they don't have that privilege that I can say, because even now when you see that something is wrong, you kind of have to keep quiet. And I'm reminded of a verse. It's something along the lines of the world won't be destroyed by the people who do evil, but the people who keep quiet and watch evil happen.
Yeah.
And now it's very hard for you to say something that you think, hey, I think this one is wrong, because you might get fired.
Yeah.
Because somebody else thinks otherwise.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it's a lot more healthier if we were able to just have a conversation that this is what I think, this is what you think, without anyone getting offended and taking it personal and it becoming a huge thing. So those are the challenges that typically I faced when building my brand.
Yeah, there's a lot I want to speak to. But the most important thing is the identifying the gap or the problem. Many of us out there are good at identifying the problem.
Yeah.
The problem I have with just identifying the problem and not coming up with a solution like, hey, I have this problem and this is how we can solve it. That's maybe another gap in the world that I feel like is there. People are so quick to click on Twitter, Instagram, and say like, this is so wrong.
Yeah.
But when it's time to take a stand and say, let's find the solution, full arms, and wait for you, the Lungstar, who's able to post and get likes and quicker reactions, see you say it and say, oh, I wanted to say it, but you didn't, and that is so true. Me and my cousin, who's a director with me on this podcast, by the way.
Yes. Was her birthday yesterday? Or
yes, I appreciate her so much. That's my girl.
Yes.
We were speaking and I was saying, being passive is not saving or serving anyone.
Facts.
You sitting and you identify a problem is not serving anybody. You need to take a stand for what you believe in, because it's not serving you.
Yes.
Let me tell you, the greatest relationship I have right now is with my brother and sister. But it took work. It took painful conversations for us to sit and say, I'm holding you accountable. I might have enabled you years earlier because I did not know. But now I have the knowledge and the tools, and I've identified that actually this behavior is a problem. And until you start coming to the party, you won't have access to me, because I can't be giving and then I'm not expecting anything in return, and I keep on. It's not working like that. This is so important, what you said of being successful in the Black community. I'm just gonna call it like it is.
Yeah.
My biggest challenges is going into a room and people thinking I'm better than them. They start believing that, oh, she's prideful.
Oh yeah.
But you haven't had a conversation with me.
Yeah.
You haven't sat and talked to me. Someone came up to me and said, oh my gosh, I heard that maybe you're a very judgmental person just because I share and express my views. You know, very loudly and very passionately at that. You know, because I'm not gonna censor myself just to make another person feel comfortable with something that I don't believe in.
Sure.
You know, I'm gonna share my view when I can share it, and I believe that God is enabling me to share it. And she's like, I'm so sorry, I had the wrong idea of you. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm used to it at this point. Like being the first Black person to do this or this and this, it's perceived somehow. It's perceived like, oh, you think you're better. I've worked with managers and people. The perception is, I think I'm better than them. So the treatment I get is, I must be better than her. You know, and it doesn't produce any good results. But I'm not going to get into that. You know, and another challenge is that it's not safe out there to have a conversation because if, for example, we talk about topics that are so sensitive, I'm not going to mention the specific incident, but it's things like we're going to get you fired because you just said this. You know, I want to challenge people and say, if someone was to come and challenge your view, or you were going to challenge, like actually, you challenge someone's view, like Christianity. I'm just going to make the example, the highest one that is always in debate. About Christianity, and you disagree with someone, are you expecting me the following day to go to your workplace and say, fire this person?
No.
Because he's a Christian and it doesn't. We are our own people outside of work, outside of relationships, outside of anything. And we need to be allowed to be that. Right? That's the first thing that I'm going to say. The second thing is, the biggest challenge actually with building my brand is that it takes courage.
A lot.
And most of the time, the courage is not there just because of the people that you have to stand before or the audience that you have to convey the message to. Just like, for example, as you're speaking, we remember stories better than anything. Standing in opposing councils, for example, where you have to testify against someone is intimidating, where you have to say, oh, this and this and this. Courage every time, every single day is not always there. People think I wake up and I'm this confident person. You know, it's built brick by brick. And for me, it is so challenging not having the support of the same people that I'm trying to save.
I get you. Yeah.
That is the biggest challenge in building my brand. It's the same people that I'm trying to help be better. Are the same people that come with the perception that you think you're better than us. Hey. That makes it difficult to bring through the message and say, hey, I think maybe we can do this. Because now you have opposing counsel. At the same time, you have challenges because no one is going to hand you anything or lift a hand and say, hey, I am here to help you. You know? So it's the courage part, having the courage to do it. It's for me, the identifying the problem and having the solution very easy. I have solutions almost for all the things I've identified. The problem is not having that safe space in the platform, and that's why the safe space started, which is my NGO as well. It literally started where I identified that moment. We need to start building a safe environment first before we can say, oh, these are the solutions that we can come up with. Now, lastly, I'm going to comment on the black on black hate. That is a real thing. And we don't talk about it enough. And I'm just going to say it like it is, that our race or our culture or our community, we support each other way less than other tribes. Not tribes, but other races out there and everything else, especially in South Africa. When you buy a car or you buy a house, all of a sudden, this guy thinks he's better than us. Right? Am I supposed to stay in struggle just so that I can fit in with everybody else? You know, when I should be opening that door so that somebody else after me can say, look, I made it, so you can make it as well. But instead of that view, it's always the, no, actually, you think you're better, and things like that, instead of the, no, let's help each other, let's work together. There's a challenge to the next black person. It is so easy for us to judge each other than judge the other races and other cultures and things like that. When we can just say, Lungster, I saw your post and it's very, very good. I just think maybe you could have said this better, or maybe I didn't resonate with this part, or maybe I had a problem with this part because of 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't just black out say in a comment, this is trash.
That's not
we are not
at all.
building
Nothing.
You are building nothing. You are not. I'm not making you better as a person, and I'm for sure not making our community better. Do you understand? But anyway, that's another topic that we could get into.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the challenges that I've had. And how did you? I know for sure. I realized, maybe I realized a bit later in our relationship that you're actually maybe more quiet than I am. Between the two of us, I talk more than he talks, right? But from the posts, it's like you talk more than I do. It's just because you are better at writing and posting and all those stuff. So, and I know that it didn't come overnight. It didn't come all of a sudden you're this confident. Look, I'm not disputing that there are other people who are naturally confident. I'm that person. I've always been I would say it like it is always and things like that. It's just like I said, the challenge is now the platforms and the environments that I want to say something in. Maybe hostile a bit, but the question is for you in building your brand or rebuilding your brand. How did you build yourself up? Or how did you encourage yourself, motivate yourself? And also, what's this thing? Take actions essentially to make you better. Like, for example, let's say maybe you started out being very shy in front of the camera. How did you develop the ability to now not be shy in front of the camera and be able to say, you know what, I'm just going to shoot this video and send it out? Because it does. I think people we don't talk about it enough as creators, as people who have platforms to share about these kind of things. We don't talk about the challenges that come with the voice in your head telling you, nah, you need to stop. It's not going anywhere. Look at how many people have suit businesses. Look at how many people are CAs. How are you going to make it when others didn't, or things like that. So for you, how did you overcome those challenges? Some of the challenges you've mentioned already, but also how did you build yourself up, because it's so important. I'm going to reference scripture now, but when Jesus had finished pouring into people's souls, spirits, healing the sick and all of that, he went aside. Almost all the time when I observed that, he would go aside to be on his own, privacy with the Father, intimacy on another level. For me, I took it as it's important in as much as you're pouring out there, to pour into yourself. Because most of the time I'll pour into people, motivate people and lecture and motivate and mentor and all of that. But most of the time I was doing it from a half-filled glass. And sometimes it runs out. So for you, how did you do that?
Yeah, I love that. I think for me mostly, because even now, currently, I like how you say that actually, now that I've known you for a while, you're actually quiet. And I think a lot that maybe comes from I'm now, because there's a lot of things that I learned when coming into corporate. I'm trying to learn how to be more strategic in the way that I communicate my ideas, right? So obviously now when you are, let's say you are rebuilding or you are renovating, you need to distract first.
Yeah.
Right. You need to sit down. I think I love how you make an example of how Jesus had a proclivity of going out to his own so that he could just have that intimacy with God. I think whether you believe or not, right, I think it is very important for a person to connect with himself or herself or with God or ancestor, I don't know. But just being alone, you need both. Solitude is an important thing, right? Because I know, especially now, we are living in a world where a lot of people run away from that. We are so distracted by social media. Everyone is scrolling something every single second. Something has to stimulate your mind. People never get the time to be alone with their thoughts. Right. And it's important that you do spend time to connect with yourself. Like spend quality time with yourself. Right. Without your phone. For example, one of the things that I do, right, that helps me a lot so that I can have like a clear mind and a clear thinking is that you can never ever access me without me deciding that, okay, now you can have access to me. So what do I mean by that? Every single notification on my phone is off. I do not have notifications for Instagram. I do not have notifications for Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp. Nothing. I do not get any notifications. Right. When I decide, okay, now I want to go into WhatsApp. When I decide, that's when people now have access to my attention because it's so limited. right? Time is the one resource that you can never ever buy, you can never ever get back. So I do not like it when, let's say I'm doing this thing and then there's a notification on my phone, clicking, and then now whatever it is that I am doing, it has to pause, and now I need to attend to this thing, because I feel like that's how I ended up pouring so much that I end up having nothing, because there's so many distractions, social media and all these kind of things. Whereas for me now, it's a thing of, okay, let me decide that maybe I want to read, maybe I want to meditate, maybe I want to pray, maybe I want to read scripture, maybe I want to, currently I'm doing my FMVA, the Financial Modeling and Valuation Analyst course from CFI, Corporate Finance Institute, right? And when I decide now, let me sit down and let me do this course, and I sit down and I because that's part of my brand, right? I wanna, because I like sharing about corporate finance. I like talking about different mergers and acquisitions, transactions. Funny story, I'm going to digress a bit here, but part of the content that I make revolves around corporate finance, right? And maybe let's say I make a video about this company acquiring this company. And this is some of the challenges that you'll face as you build your brand, for example, right? You'll notice that with other people, right? Let's say they go to a certain company and they make maybe a comment, maybe this company dispose of this company, right? Somebody from your colleague, they make a comment, right? Nothing happens, right? Typically because maybe they don't have like a big platform, people are not watching them like that, right? And then when you come with your big following, right, and you're like, oh, I find this transaction interesting, right? It's already public knowledge, it's already public information. Let me make a video about this thing, right? Which is something that I did personally. I made a video about a certain transaction that happened. I spoke about, because I noticed that a lot of my audience is people that are still in university, and I like sharing, bridging that, because sometimes when you're in university and you're studying your IFRS textbook,
you
studying
don't
your ISA,
see it.
It's very theoretical. But now, me trying to create a brand and a platform in which I try to marry practice with theory, a lot of people find that really interesting.
Yeah, so you do it so well, by the way.
Thank you. So you learn about IFRS 3 business combinations, but then now you have this company and you acquired this company, and then you have this person who's basically going to say, this is how IFRS 3 applies to this specific transaction that is out there in the market, right? People will engage with that. People will resonate with that. People are like, oh, this is so fascinating, or I never thought about it this way. Sometimes you even have, like, in the comment section, people now start having like conversations and they have debates amongst themselves, and everyone is learning and it's positive, right? But then now, because people have an eye on you, because you have this following, you'll get into trouble for sharing things like that, regardless of whether it's public knowledge. It's already, they're gonna say, hey, we do not like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, blah 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 blah.
We don't like your opinion.
Yeah, and then you get into trouble. But other people did the exact same thing. They just didn't make a video about it. But it's the same if you just go to LinkedIn and you just go comment on a transaction. You did the exact thing that I did. I just made a video about the transaction, right? So the challenge, so that's one of the challenges. Like, you'll face that when your brand grows. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people who won't like that, right? There's a lot of people who will not like the fact that, because and most of the time it's going to be coming from people who wanted to do something similar to you, but you are doing it, right? You do not, it's not the thing like you were saying, okay, we identify the problem and then it stops there. You are the person who decided, no, I'm going to do something about it, right? I'm going to go make a video, I'm going to write a tweet, but I'm going to put my voice out there. I'm going to create a social media page, or I'm going to create a podcast as you have done. I'm going to do something. I'm going to have this conversation. And a lot of people do not like the fact that you did something that for them, they are maybe afraid to do. I don't know what the reasons for it could be. Yeah. But it's like what you said, that it takes courage to do these things. So when they see you do it, they're like, they don't like that. Yeah. So you go through things like that. And then for me, because currently I'm trying to rebuild, I'm trying to find more strategic ways of communicating some of the ideas that I have. It's a thing of now, like, I always, let's say I write something, I will read it more than 5 times. Yeah. I will edit it, reiterate it, but then try to make it to a point where I'm still getting my point across without maybe upset. Because I'm like you, I'm that person who just calls a spade a spade. Yeah, I know that. Right? Like, I'll just say that this is what I think, right? Even if it's a sensitive topic, this is what I think, right? And I would much rather have people like you're describing, that they're going to be people who actually say, I don't like this part, this is what I think about this, than a person who just go and say, this is trash. I remember there was a time when I was sharing, and it's quite fascinating. There was a time when I shared a post in which why I said men are important in the workplace.
Right? I remember that post.
Yeah.
And I remember the person you were.
I made the comment, right? Because I was coming from a place like, I'm looking at social media and I'm seeing all of this attack on men, right? Like there's so many like, and there's not even like today, it's not like when I was growing up, when like we growing up where like a lot of superheroes, let's say, are males, right? And men are strong, men are providers, men are protectors, and you grow up believing those things because you grow up like, these are good, right? When I grow up, I want to be strong, I want to be able to provide, I want to be a gentleman, I want to be romantic, I want to be, like those are things that I grew up seeing as good things. And then now there is so much demonization on males where you don't even find, even 100%. Sometimes maybe you see a post, I feel like there's also like a lot of posts like you could have brought your points across without now attacking us.
Men.
Right, like you could have said this, because I was reading this other beautiful post. I just forgot what she is, but she's a CFO of some company, and she did very well for herself. And nowhere in that post did she now start saying bad things about us. Now it's a different thing if, let's say, you encounter certain challenges, right? And then let's say this guy did this thing, and that's your story, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But we can say those stories without what is it, generalization, or painting men are trash. Men are trash, brush stroke. Those kind of stuff, because I have met people who have helped me a lot, from both men and women. Right. I like saying that I love judging a person based on their character as an individual. I do not care whether you're white, whether you're Indian, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman. You as an individual being, that's what makes you. So I say that all in saying that currently now, the way that I'm able to basically pour back into myself, right? It's a thing of now, okay, I sit and I like reading, number one, right? Because my notifications are switched off. Some people struggle with reading because maybe they're reading for like 2 minutes and then they need to focus on that thing, right? And that's taking away time from you pouring back into yourself. But like reading, praying, solitude, right, without distraction from social medias, because it's also not a real place, because even if like you say something that another person might not like on social media, if you go out to like on the grass on the streets, you'll notice that most people are just living their own lives. But to you in that moment when you posted 1, 2, 3, right, it might feel like, because I remember even when I made that post, for example, there are some people who commented like, this is nonsense, just stick to accounting, blah 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 blah, right? But and then over time there was other people who were like, oh, actually I like what you post, oh, I resonate with this, oh, I've also had similar
the start is always so harsh.
It is. And what happens often is the thing that you said, that some of the people that you stand up for, right, they might not back you when ish hits the fan. Right. You look at a person, for example, when they were striking for fees must fall. And then you had that person go to jail. That's just the nature of it. But it is what it is.
You are the sacrifice. Literally, almost all the time. That's what people must understand. When you are building a brand,
you are the sacrifice.
You are the sacrifice, because your head is always up for grabs. Like if a post was to come up and say, this is Bonam, what do you think about her? I promise you, people have an opinion, even if they've never even spoken a word to, just because of something that someone else said. There was literally, let me not even get to that. That doesn't deserve my airtime. I'll tell you offline, but what were you saying? You were saying something earlier. You had said something about a seed that is planted through you. You are literally a seed in life, and it's up to you. And you cannot be frustrated at other people for building something that maybe you were not. I don't know. I don't want to say equipped, or you didn't equip yourself to build. Typical example in the story of the Bible. Let's make it relatable to my Christian people. When Moses was called to lead the Israelites, right? he was called. He was promised that you are taking them to the promised land. Did he enter that promised land? Why? Because of his own actions. And sometimes when you sit around blaming other people, other circumstances, and all of those things, you'll wait forever because there is a lot of excuses that I could have used. I lost my mom when I was 5. This and this happened in my life, and all of those things. I could have not made it. I could have been a girl who was sleeping around in the hood and doing whatever I want because my dad, like I said, was like, you choose your life. Whether you're going to be a stratmate, go ahead. But that's your life. Do you understand? So there is a lot of excuses out there, but I need people to start taking accountability and action. Back up your word, because I promise you, in this lifetime, if you don't stand for anything, you will stand for absolutely everything. And that will be a problem later, because then I can't trust your word, because you're a person who just, we can talk about we're gonna do this together, and then tomorrow you're flighting something else, and then I can't have people like that around me. So for me, as you've said, solitude. You said it so beautifully that people are so occupied right now with social media because of the desire, that void of family, community. Because it's no longer, families are no longer the same. We get that. But you cannot always 24/7 be attached to people. I usually say, if you are always around people, around things, and all of that, and you've never spent time with yourself, it's because you are afraid of facing the demons that are within you. And until you face those demons, there is no growth that is going to ever happen. There's people, it's like people who come out of a relationship last week, this week they're in another one, right? There isn't space for you to digest what had happened, and that is why the trauma that comes from one relationship flows to the other right until the end, right? And for me, I had to sit down, and people ask me, why did you become celibate? Why are you single now? And all of those things. Honestly, when I look at myself as a little girl, I could have been saved for so many things. If only the adults around me had dealt with certain things in their lives earlier on. Right? So for my kids and the future generation, this is why I'm building this brand. Is I want them to be able, we don't have that right now. As you've said, freedom of speech is no longer free. Right? But we are building brands that are going to make that safe environment where people can voice opinions on religion, on race, on this, without feeling like my life will be on the line. Literally, people, a lady who was reporting fraud, which was her job.
Yes.
Right? We can't even do our jobs the way we are supposed to do them, because you are thinking, what if this happens, or what if this happens, because there isn't that safe space out there anymore. So I'd say I pour into myself by reading. Is one thing I do. I might have not been reading books this year, but the Bible is a book I will read forever.
That's the best book.
Right, so that's the best one for me. Secondly, is surrounding myself with the people that are going to be able to pour into me when I can't pour into myself. I cannot express this enough, but to the ladies, they know themselves, my friends, my family. I've been sick recently, quite a bit actually, and there was a time I didn't have anything to give anymore. And I've always wanted to see it happen for myself. I've always been that community for other people. I just had never experienced that being community for other people, right? But this year, I saw it, that my friend can call me and say, look, I can drop everything at work and come to you right now. Like, what do you need, and things like that, you know? And I realized that I do have a good community around me. And that is what got me out of that dark place. You cannot be in a dark place and now you are together in people who are going to get you into a darker place and then think you're going to see light. You cannot do that. So for me, those are the two most important things I would like to say, is the solitude of being able to meditate, read the Bible, pray, but also sit with my thoughts and ask myself, Bonolo, my psychologist is teaching me right now about mindfulness, like doing things mindfully, you know, not just, you know, being present in the moment, because I'm always so occupied about what's next, what's thinking, and things like that. I've never even sat down to celebrate myself that, oh, you've just done this and this. It's always what's happening next, which is not really ideal. So first point is solitude, very important. Individuality, know what you stand for, because that will drive you. When you go home alone, when you sit there, you're sitting with yourself. No one is in there. Who are you? You know, who's me? And can I sit with that person in the same room, or will I want to walk away? You know. Secondly, for me, is the community. I cannot be wanting to build a brand that is so sustainable, that is going to make a huge impact, positive impact at that, because you can have impact that is negative, but positive impact, but associate and identify myself with things that are negative. It doesn't work. Oil and water, no ways, right? You need to choose that, okay, I want this type of life for myself, and I need to make a decision. It's going to be hard because sometimes maybe you have to let go of childhood friendships that you never saw yourself letting go of. You have to let go of relationships that you didn't think, oh my gosh, I will ever break up with this person. You have to let go of families or I don't know, teachers, mentors, whoever, for you to build or rebuild yourself. But if you have to do it, but also, last point for me, you'll only ever know that by sitting with yourself. As long as you are in the click, like let's repost, let's retweet it, let's post it, all of those things, you'll never be able to realize that actually this cycle is very toxic. And like I said, community is very important. Build a community that is going to be able to pull your side and say, look, Star, look, I love what you've shared, but maybe this is the better way of fixing. Not people who are going to talk to other people about you, but not to you directly. You see what I'm talking about? It's those holes. And I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but...
No, I feel like what you're saying. Look, I love it. I love it. But I think community is a big one.
Yeah.
Because when certain conversations that you have with certain people, and because I think I love, I feel like the most important thing is having friends or people who are close to you that you can be fully honest and transparent with.
Yeah.
Even like I much rather have friends I can share, even if you disagree with me, but we can at least have a conversation.
Yeah.
That is so healthy because you also get to refine your ideas.
Exactly.
You also get to learn from somebody else where what are flaws in your ideas. I think this was like you say that you're going to have some conversations. No, actually, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like I genuinely believe that you come out a better person because of it.
Yeah.
But the second that we can't even have conversations anymore, I think that's what it is.
That's where we are at right now. Conversations feel like it's war. It's I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah, it's not personal. It's not. I'm not judging you. It's not a fight.
Yeah.
This is what I think. This is what you think. Make the best idea with.
I guess we'll find out soon. Yeah.
Another thing now that you need, like you said, it's now. It doesn't mean now tomorrow I need to wake up, go find who your employer is, and I need to get fired.
Yeah, exactly. Do you get what I mean? Like that is the lowest level you could ever go for, but that's just what it is. And then, what is? I know we've talked about the challenges. In closing, I think this is one. I don't know if I hope I've covered what someone would want to hear about building or rebuilding your brand, but this is the last one that is coming through for me. Is what is? I think the biggest insecurity that you have with building a brand.
Biggest insecurity
that you have of or have had or are dealing with. That
I think the biggest insecurity that I have when it comes to my brand would probably be coming from imposter syndrome.
Okay. Yeah.
So sometimes sometimes I ask myself, let's say, like, Sharp, you could be reading a lot about certain things that are important to you, like the things that you're interested in, learning a lot of different kind of things. But am I the right person to share this? You know, am I even good enough to make a video about corporate finances?
Yeah.
It's my passion.
Yeah.
I love it. But, you know, why should people listen to me?
Yeah.
Why should people listen to what I say? And sometimes I try to deal with it, but sometimes I do make a video and then maybe I do not mention a certain leg of that transaction.
Yeah.
For example, that somebody in the comment section pointed out, and then I feel insecure about it. Then I just need to reflect, no, calm down, read what this person is saying, acknowledge what they're saying, because I never delete comments. I like them to stay there, like whatever they are, and then I'll maybe comment on, respond to that person, and then we end up. Sometimes we even become friends, you know, because I hadn't thought of this. Like when you're studying for APC, it's so important to be in a group because there's certain things that you just would never thought.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the insecurity that I face most of the time is just like Like, am I the right person to be talking about corporate finance?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
People who have 20 years of experience,
Yeah,
people who
yeah,
are CFAs,
yeah.
people who are inside the field. I'm not even there. I'm just an outsider looking in because it's something that fascinates me. I like reading books about it. I've watched every series and movie under the sun. Billions, Wolf of Wall Street, Succession, Moneyball.
I don't get the obsession with Succession. Honestly, I tried to one episode and I was out.
That one is more like power games.
Yeah.
There's a lot of power plays there.
Yeah.
But the big shots, all of these kind of different things. Even the books that I read recently, I was reading Liar's Poker, which is a story about Michael Lewis when he started in Wall Street. I was reading Barbarians at the Gates, which is a story about the biggest LBO deal in the 80s. I was reading The Menace of the Markets. It's about Jim Simons, who basically trades on Wall Street using algorithms and machines. So even after reading all of these different things and being so passionate about the subject, I still find myself sometimes when I'm making a post or a video, it's like, oh man, what if I get this wrong? Maybe I should talk about this. Maybe this is too complicated. Maybe I'm not giving the right opinion here, and those kind of things. So that's my biggest insecurity. It's like saying something. I am very afraid of saying something wrong. Yeah. Yeah. And then people attack me. It has to be right. Yeah. Because freedom of speech is not free anymore. We make mistakes. Yeah. You know, some of the things that I've said. Maybe it wasn't, let's say, 100% correct. You know, maybe the text component of this, you know, but at the end of the day, when you want to start with something, let's say, because there's a lot of people who say, I want to start a YouTube channel, but they never started. Just grab the camera, record the first video, upload it. You know, it'll be bad the first time, it'll be less bad the second time. But over time, like after maybe your 10th or 20th video, there's going to be people who's going to be asking me, when are you uploading again? And then you're like, oh, so people are watching. Yeah, 100%. I think I relate with that. Of the feeling like I'm too young as well. Yes. You know, it's like, why are you speaking on parenting? You don't even have a child. You know, it's those kind of things that the mind is a battlefield, and you have to get ready for that battle every single time. Because when you go to bed, when you wake up, it is always with you like, do you think you're good enough? That video, oh my gosh, why aren't people liking it? Oh, yeah. The views, why are the views? What's happening? Did I do anything wrong? You look and listen as many times as you can. And I want to just say to people as well, like, please grant us grace. To the people building brands, especially the social active brands or the media brands like YouTube, podcasts, and things like that. Please grant us the grace to understand that, first of all, we are not, we might not be, as Chinese people now apparently have added a law and said you must have a degree to speak on something. Yeah, apparently, that's interesting. I'm going to read up more on that. But people must understand this is based on our lived experiences. And it's a conversation. It's based on lived experiences. We didn't experience it like you experienced. We might not know it deeply as you know it. You might have a perspective that we don't, but we just wanted to bring it to the table. Like, take it to your family, take it to your friends, and the world will be a better place. That's literally my goal. Is if I can have a conversation with you that can reach someone who's maybe not even thinking that, oh my gosh, I'm interested in corporate finance. They hear you speaking about that book that you were just saying, like, this is about this. And they picking up the book, they equip themselves, you know, and see, oh, that means that, okay, I can also do it. And also, just us speaking on this makes the other person realize that we are also humans. I think people start looking at people like influencers, celebrities, thinking that maybe they are not human. They don't have feelings, you know. And you know what's funny? One of my lecturers when I used to be an academic trainee was like, I was looking at the learner evaluations and stuff like that. I think 97, 8% high percentage people gave good remarks. The 2% is the one that I read 10 times. It's the one that I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't do this, you know. And I think, I don't know how God wired us to be like that, but I think we gravitate towards negative comments about us more than the positive one. But I want to say, Lungster, as for me, your brand, keep on keeping on. If you need to rebuild yourself as many times as you can. Because we are never, I always say to people, you'll never arrive.
and you will never become. It's always the journey to becoming. Because once you become a CA now, as we sign off, you are becoming someone else. After becoming that corporate finance guru, you're like, okay, what's next out there? I want to become this. So we will never become. And until we learn to rebuild as many times as you can, you'll be stuck in the same cycle, stuck in the same position. I'm challenging people out here right now. Go and look and examine your life, examine yourself, examine your friends, examine what you're doing. Are you doing enough for you to get what you want to get? And when people were speaking, now I'm gonna I said that was the last point, but this is the other one. People came to me and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I really genuinely thought you would apply for the trainee, SAICA trainee Trailblazer awards." And my response to them was like, I would have loved to apply. But the problem is, I want to feel like it's good enough for me to say, yeah, it's valid for me to apply. You know, so they didn't nominate me because they thought, no, I'm definitely applying because it's something I had spoken about when I was in varsity that I'm definitely going for the trainee award. I didn't apply because I know my brand. I know where I'm trying to take it. And for me, it didn't feel like it's good enough for it to be out there. And I get people, they're like, no, man, you've done so much. I've done quite a bit. But I need to believe it for myself. So people, I'm challenging you to go and examine your brand. Is it something that you believe in, or are you just doing it now because it's what's being done? It's YouTube. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Everybody's doing it and it's fun. It's clickbait. But are you going to be content with it 3-4 years from now on? You understand? So that's my last closing point. I don't know what you want to say in your closing remarks or points.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the dialogue. I love this kind of conversations, especially now in the world of Nigeria, because I'm currently, I don't know, like sometimes when I look at social media, there's a weird gender war that is happening that I don't like. It's like it's men against women.
No.
I don't like that because I love God. If God wants just men, you will just make men.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's not fair that there should also be
a helper, woman.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything more beautiful than those two people working together.
Yeah.
Empowering one another.
Yeah.
Right, and passion on that.
Yeah.
I think that's healthy. I think it's good. I do know that historically there's a lot of challenges that females have faced that I will never be able to relate to.
Yeah.
Neither will I ever be able to understand. I just think sometimes fighting, let's say, men, right, in a generalized way, I do not think that contributes to solving
problems. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we can have these conversations that, hey, sometimes when I look at social media, like there are some people who do not like it. For example, because people are different, right? There are going to be females who are career driven, who are focused, who like they have the powerhouses, and then that's a beautiful thing to see. And then we also have other women who like cooking for their person, for example.
Yeah.
They like cleaning for them. They like taking care of them. They're nurturers, right? It's like their character. I don't know.
You can be both, by the way.
Yes, there's also that as well. But then sometimes you look at some of the hate that they get on. Because I remember I was watching this video where what she was doing, she was basically giving her husband food every day. Those videos like she just serves. And there was a lot of people who were not happy about that. And I do not get why would you not be happy? Because why would you not be happy about that? Because that's what she personally likes. They'll say things like, I would never do that for a man. Okay, that's fine. But there's nothing wrong with her doing that.
Yeah, for him, man.
Even us as well. Like as men, like you say a gent, maybe let's say buying your girl roses, and then like what's wrong with another guy? You get me? Like there shouldn't be like some kind of like whoa, but he deserves less or whatever.
Yeah.
No. I think we should understand that we are different, right? We are not all going to believe in the same things.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I think, there's certain things that you think. The way that you show love is not the way that I will show love.
Yeah.
We should learn that people are different, and we shouldn't fight one another.
Yeah.
Now, men and women, we all share in this world, right? And I think it's in all of our best interests for us to just work together and love one another.
100%.
Patient with one another.
100%. Guys, funny enough, our initial conversation was supposed to be about corporate and the gender roles, the effects of gender roles on I want to say careers. I want to say I already had a bit of a conversation with my previous guest about like gender roles in religious settings, particularly for Christianity. But I think it's a conversation me and you should have. Very sensitive. We've talked about it before somewhere somehow, but I think we will have it. Maybe 2026, maybe December. I don't know. What's up? I don't know. But it is quite important for people to realize that we play a role. I was having a conversation with my cousin and saying, in as much as the victims are always best for staying so long in abusive relationships, we don't talk about the people who enable the person who abuses the victim. Like the enablement of, I just fold my arms when I know that you're abusing your partner. And I keep quiet. I'm just like, no, it's not my thing. It's not my relationship, and all of that. And then tomorrow when in this case a woman appears on the page that we all know as women, women for change, that she's dead now. All of a sudden, the comments pour out, oh my gosh, I should have done something. Oh my gosh, I didn't think this was too deep. And that is my problem. I get irritated with people identifying problems, knowing the solutions, but you don't act. When you don't act, who do you think is going to act on your behalf? Like it's the same. The beauty of the church and how it's built is there's different gifts that need to work together, but people are competing for prophetic gifts. Everyone wants to be a prophet. Everyone wants to be a pastor. Who's gonna pray? Who's gonna intercede? Who's gonna, do all of the other things? We need people. We need to take positions of the things that we are planted to do here on earth. And when we do that, the world is better. But we can't be pointing fingers and saying this and this, but you are not taking a stand and realizing I could talk to my sister and say, hey, by the way, this is not a respectful way to speak to a man. Or maybe this is not a respectful way to treat or talk about gents, because the same gents that we bash is the same gents that we need. The same for the gents. You need to respect the woman. You can't be lusting after women and you think women will respect you because your behavior is giving perfect behavior. And until we start having those conversations, the same cycle will keep on, and nothing will change. So, yeah, thank you so much for the conversation. It was lovely having you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. Please do share your comments. Like we said, we don't delete comments. We want to hear and say, Bololo ink, Lungster ink. We want to hear all those comments. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Cheers. Bye.